Chairman, as I told you, General Rodriguez, I was going to concentrate my questions on AFRICOM. When Senator McCain talked about being under-resourced, it is true that when you were formed and up to the current time, you don't really have resources. You depend on EUCOM for almost everything. Is that correct?
We got a little bit more resources in the last year and a half, Senator, to include a special purpose MAGTAF, a commander's response force, a special operations force, and we've also got a couple of key enablers for forces.
Yeah,
I also do depend quite a lot on EUCOM capacity, sir.
Yeah, I think you do, and I think that other things that come up, like the LRA and things like that specifically, you inherit resources to help put out those fires. However, with the restructuring, the European infrastructure consolidation, are you concerned about how that might affect what resources might be available when called upon?
Right now, from the European infrastructure consolidation, most of the moves have been to the south and east to help the responsiveness of EUCOM forces to support both CENTCOM and AFRICOM. So okay. The ones that got enacted, I agree with, sir.
I understand. I don't know where you were when we put together the whole the AFRICOM. You know, before that, it was in 3 different commands, and the PACOM, EUCOM, and I guess CENTCOM. And that was a wise thing to do. But the discussion at that time was where to put the headquarters. And we were all promoting the idea that it should actually be in Africa. That continent is so huge. We understand what happened politically at that time, that this fear of colonization and all that people just wouldn't buy it. But the presidents would. In fact, I've talked to most of all of the presidents in that area. They thought that would have been a good idea. At the time that we put it together, AFRICOM, there was some discussion that after a period of time, they might consider making that move. Have you heard anything at all about that? Is there anything in the mill talking about?
No, many of the African leaders have talked to me about that, but the current assessment by the Secretary of Defense is to continue to leave it where it is for the foreseeable future, sir.
Yeah, well, you know, the foreseeable future is beyond us now from when they first put this thing together, but I don't know. I know that would still be a problem. Let me ask you, my first experience with Joseph Kony and the LRA was way back in 2001. That's 14 years ago. Joseph Kony was old and sick then. How is he now?
He's older and sicker, sir.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that we are getting in a position right now? It appears to me from the reports that we get, and I think you'd probably agree, I'll ask if you do agree, that most of the stuff now he's doing is just trying to move around and avoid it. He's no longer making the hits that he did back at that time. And our involvement, which we have been involved in, is actually is working.
Yes, sir, it is working, and it's in a great team effort with all the country teams, as well as many of the civilian organizations that have built the durability in the civilian population to better resist the problems he has. Right now, he's down to about 200 real fighters, and the impact on the civilian population is very minimal. He is using illicit trafficking to continue to sustain his efforts, but it's tough for him because of the continual pressure over the last 14 years.
Yeah, as he's being chased around places like CAR, Eastern Congo, even briefly Rwanda, Uganda, South Sudan, it seems like it was a trail of blood following him, and it's not that way so much anymore. I just think that we haven't talked about that in a long time. We need to get on the record that some things seem to be working there.
Yes, a long-term effort against Kony. With really, fairly modest resources, but that long-term effort has done exactly what you said. It has significantly decreased his impact on any civilian population, sir.
Yeah. General Rodriguez, last year you testified that only 12% of your ISR requests are being met. I'm reading this from the transcript last year. Has there been any change in this intelligence gap?
Just a little bit more, sir. I'm about 13% now, but that's a great question. As far as the impacts of sequestration, just for the committee, we will lose more caps in sequestration than I have in the theater right now. So you can see the impact that's going to have on our intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance assets. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Charles.